Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today I am going to do one of my most highly requested videos, which is how to make a Royale High edit. Now this is super easy. I just wanted to show you guys really quick how I do them so you guys can also make edits of your own. I'm going to throw up a couple examples on screen right there, and right there, and right there of Royale High edits I've done before that you guys have really loved and just want to know how to do them for yourselves. This tutorial is for computer. I'm sure that the same techniques could be used on phones to do Royale High edits, so if you have a phone, you may be able to follow along with this tutorial. But today I'm going to be using Paint.net, which is a computer program, so you may be able to do it with a different editing app on your phone if you like. But first of all, as our first step, we need to get our character ready and find a place to take the screenshot. So really quick, I am going to do a montage of me just getting my character ready, taking a screenshot, and I'll be right back. Okay, so after your outfit is completed that you want to take your screenshot in, what you need to do is go to the place you want to take your screenshot. So I think we're going to take one outside, maybe, like by a tree. I think that would look really good. Let's see, let's take a look around. I think this area up here may be good. Okay, so I ended up deciding that up here on this balcony would be a perfect place for a screenshot. Now, if you want any poses in your screenshot, of course, you can go over to Mood and then go through all the different animations and see if there's any you may like. So let's see, let's pick an animation. And now, finally, you just have to line up your screenshot. And if you didn't know, in the bottom right corner down here, there's different lighting filters you can put. So you can put vintage or black and white, colorful brightness. I usually pick the default because that works the best for me, but really it's whatever you want to do. Okay, so after you have your character in the right outfit, you have them in the pose you want them in, and with the background you want, all you need to do is hit print screen on your keyboard. I'll show a picture so you guys know where it is on the keyboard, and it should have taken the screenshot for you. Now, if you go into your files, so if you go into your pictures in your folder right here and go into the Roblox folder, you should be able to find the screenshot that you took right at the very bottom. So here's my screenshot. It saved it in the computer right here. So I'm just going to show you guys how to get there again really quickly. What you want to do is go to your folder right here, go to Pictures, then go to the Roblox folder, and at the very bottom it should be there. Now you may have some other screenshots in there because I take screenshots by accident all the time, but it should be at the very bottom. So now that we are done in Roblox Royale High, we are now in Paint.net. We are going to be editing the photo here. So what you want to do is go to the top left, right up here, and select File, Open. And you are going to go where your screenshot saves. So mine is under Pictures, Roblox. You want to scroll to the very bottom, find your screenshot, and just double click it to load it in. And here's your screenshot. So now we are going to need to crop it down because obviously I don't need all this background stuff and things like that. So what you're gonna do is go over into your toolbox and select this blue box right here. Gonna click that and you're just gonna drag where you want to select with your mouse. So I'm just gonna select this area, probably right here. Just rescale this a little bit, get it the right size. There we go. And then when you are done, all you need to do is go to the top, image, and click crop to selection. You're going to do that, and then it'll crop the image to what you selected. And then you can crop a couple other times if you're not quite sure if you like it. So I think I'm going to crop it down just a little bit more because I think it's kind of big. Do the exact same thing. Okay, there we go. I think this is a good size. So now what you want to do, one of the steps I like to do is to get the whole image just with a better color because I'm not quite happy with how this color turned out. So what you want to do is go to the top, go to adjustments right here, and then select curves. And you can kind of just change the lighting with this and stuff, so you can drag this curve a little bit, change where it is just to adjust the lighting, make it look a little bit better. So I think I want it to go just a little bit like this, There we go. So now the lighting is a little bit improved. Just looks a little bit better. I like to do it, so yeah. Now the next thing we are going to be doing is shading. Now if you watched my other speed edits of Royale High, you will know that I just love to do this. It gives lots of colors and prettiness. I just love it so much. So what you need to do is go over to the layers box right here. You're going to go to the very bottom where the plus is, where it says add new layer, and just click that. Now you're going to go to your color box right here and select a dark color. We're going to hit more so we get all the options. We need probably a dark blue or red. Now it's really up to you to decide what color you want your shading to be. Usually dark blues and reds work best, but it really depends what type of GFX you're doing and what colors would go with it. So I think with this one we're going to go a dark bluish purple. So we're going to drag it all the way down here. And as you can see, it's not really dark. Well, we're going to go right over here where the V is and drag it down to a dark color. And then we can just put this box back where it belongs. Now that we have our color, we're going to get out our paintbrush from our tools box. And we are going to select a big size, maybe like 25. 25 is a little bit big. Let's go for 15. And we are just going to start coloring in where we want shading. We don't want to color way too much. We can always add extra layers. But just start coloring on it where shadows would be, like along the hairline. There'd be a shadow here. Probably a shadow over here, you know, just try and decide where you think your shadows would be coming from. It also helps from your screenshot. Like, as you can see, there's some pink right here, so we know that's where the light areas are. We're just gonna color in all the shadowed areas. So after we're done coloring in all the shadowed areas, what you wanna do is go to Effects, Blurs, and this blur right here. You're just going to want to blur it out so it's just sort of a shadow. So it's not like a harsh line like this, but it just kind of blends into your character. And then, to give it an even better effect, what you can do is go over to your layers box, double click the layer with shading on it, and it'll open this box right here. Now you can go to blending mode and select overlay, or you can select screen, you can select reflect or glow, and see, it kind of gives it different lighting effect. So I think we're going to go with reflect, and compared with the normal one, see, it's totally different. We're going to hit OK when we're done with that, and pretty much that's how I shade all my GFX. Now really quick, we are going to do another shadows layer with the exact same technique. Usually I do 2 shadow layers and 2 highlight layers just to give it an extra pop. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to go through it again. We're going to go over to the layers box, down at the bottom, add new layer. We are going to select another dark color, so I think maybe we'll go for a darkish orange. Just going to color in the shadows wherever they go. So maybe along the hairline, up here where it might be shadowy, down here on the arm, down here on this arm. Just all the places you think shadows may go. And like I said, if you look at your screenshot, you can usually tell where the shadows will be a lot of the time. So we're just going to do that, and then go to Effects, Blurs, and just do this. Blur it out a little bit, and we're going to go double click the layer and select a different mode. So I think I'm happy with the mode it's at, so we're just going to select normal, and there we go. Now as you can see, if I take off the shadows really quick, it makes a huge difference when you have your shadows on. It just makes it look so much more realistic. I think also I'm going to tone down this shadow a little bit because I think it's a bit much. So if you want to tone down your shadows a little bit, if they look a little too strong, all you need to do is double click the layer box again and just turn it down right here at the opacity if you want to. So I'm just going to turn this one down a little bit because I think the shadow is kind of strong, and I think that looks really good. So now we are going to do the exact same thing but with light colors, doing highlights. So we're going to make a new layer and then select a light color. So I think I'm going to select a light orangish pink, and right here at the V we're just going to turn it up so it's a light color. You can also adjust on all these different boxes to get the exact color you want, and we're just going to color in where the highlights would be. So we're just going to color in these areas where the pink is. Then we are just going to blur it again like all the other layers. Go over to the layers box, double click the highlight layer, and just make it a different blending mode. So overlay usually looks really good. Reflect sometimes works. glow sometimes works, screen sometimes works. Usually I go with overlay because I think it looks really good like this. And now I am just going to be making another highlight layer, doing the exact same thing that we have been doing with all the other layers. Just gonna color it in where all the highlights will be. And then blur it out when we're done. And then change it to a different blending mode so it looks a little bit better. Just like that. I think we'll turn down the opacity just a little bit to make it look more normal. And there we go. Now our GFX is shaded. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing, except I'm going to do it in the background now. So what we're going to do is make another layer, and you are just going to shade your background with the exact same technique that we did with the person. So we can add some stuff right here in the corners, you know, just wherever you think shadows would be. Probably right here a little bit. It's just the exact same technique, except we're doing it on the background now instead of the person. So I will be back in just a second when I'm done shading my background. Okay, so after you have done that, you are all done with shading. Now the next step I like to do is to blur out the background a little bit just so your character pops a lot more, so I will be showing you how to do that right now. So in the layers box over here, what you want to do is go down to the very bottom and select your screenshot right here. Just want to make sure it's highlighted in blue. And then over here, you are going to pick the lasso tool. And this part might be kind of tedious, but it is so worth it in the end. What you need to do is drag the lasso tool all around your character. So you're just going to go around all the edges and then, you know, just get your character selected. Obviously that was just an example, so I'm gonna go in and select my whole character really quick all the way around, and I'll be back in just a second. Also, before you begin, you'll want to select this tool right here at the top. I'll zoom in on it, because then as you can see, you can make multiple selections instead of it just being one go all the way around the character. So then you can just do tiny sections and let go, and then keep going, and then let go. So it just makes it a lot easier to select your character that way. I forgot to mention, you'll also want to select any items that are in the foreground right here. So what you want to do is just select anything that is up by the front, because it'll only be blurry if it's in the background. So we're just going to select everything that's not the background, everything that's with the character and stuff. So now after you've done that and selected everything in the foreground, the character, all the stuff you don't want blurred, what you want to do is go to Edit, Invert Selection, click that, and then you're going to go to Effects, Blurs, and use pretty much any of the blurs that you like. I really like to use Unfocus, so what I'm going to do is select this, and you just want to do 1 or 2 just to give it a little effect. I'm going to do 2, select that, and as you can see, it blurred the background a little bit just to give it that extra pop, little more realism, things like that. So now what I like to do is I love to add particles. Particles always make a GFX look so much better. So what you need to do is go to your internet browser right here. I already have it pulled up. You can look up particle overlay and you'll find all these different overlays that you can use. Also, if you need a certain color, you can look up the certain color before particle overlay. So say I need a pink one, you can look up pink particle overlay, and a lot of things will come up. So we're just gonna go with the general particle overlay right here. And you just gotta pick one that you like. So I think maybe this one would maybe look good. Probably this one. So when you find one that you like, you're gonna right click it and select copy image right here. You're gonna copy it, go back to paint.net, and now in your layers box, you're going to make another layer and drag it all the way to the top. After you've done that, you're gonna click Control and V at the same time on your keyboard to paste in the particle layer. And sometimes it'll come up with this box. Usually what you wanna do is select Keep Canvas Size. So you'll do that, and then you can drag around the particles to wherever you want them to go. After you're done getting a good position for your particles, you're gonna go to the layers box, double click it, and select either additive or screen. And those are always good options because it removes the black out of the background while keeping the particles there. And there you go. Now you have particles on your image, and I just think it looks super cute. So now really quick, I am going to add some more particles, and I will be right back. Another tip is that if the particles are covering your character up, it just sometimes looks a little bit off with particles all over them. All you need to do is select a color with your color picker, probably around next to a particle but not on top of it. So you're just going to select a color and then take your paintbrush tool and color on where you don't want the particles to be. And as you can see, it removes the particles but still keeps the same color, just like that. We're just going to finish coloring it in, and there you go. So now the particles are only in the background and not on the character, so of course they're not taking up her whole face or anything. So now the final thing I'm going to be showing you is how I add some lighting effects. Now I usually do these at the very end because they usually add a lot of color, so I just find it helpful to do them at the very end to see if you like them. And we are going to be adding shadows and highlights. So what you want to do, just like we did at the beginning, is get a very dark color and color along the edges of the picture. Now you want to color where the sun isn't coming from. You're just going to blur that out, and then probably select something like overlay, reflect, one of those things. I think overlay looks pretty good. And now you're going to make another layer and do the exact same thing with a fairly light color. You don't want it to be super pastel, but just a sort of light color like this. This is a good color. You're just going to color it where the sun is coming from. You're going to blur it out a lot. So you want to turn up your blur all the way just to make sure. Blur it out a lot. You're going to go here and select overlay or reflect, glow. Screen is a good option. Lighten is a good option. Additive is a good option. I think we're going to probably pick glow and turn it down a little bit. And as you can see, it just added a little glow up here, so it looks more realistic. It looks like the sun is shining down on her. And I'll show you guys the before and after. So this is before we added the lighting effects, and this is the after. So as you can see, it adds a lot of color, and it just makes it look so much more realistic. So that is pretty much it for my Royale High edit tutorial. Now really quick, I am going to put up on the screen the before and after of this edit. I hope this tutorial helped you guys out a lot to kind of show you the techniques I use and things like that so you can make your own Royale High edits. Now of course, as always, if you guys have any questions about the tutorial, all you need to do is leave a comment down below. I read all of my comments and I try to answer every single question, so I should get back to you pretty soon, like within a few days, if you leave a comment. Also be sure, if this tutorial helped you, to leave a big thumbs up so people know that it's a good tutorial and it's helpful, and it just helps me out a lot if you leave a thumbs up. Also, of course, if you are not subscribed, please be sure to go down in the description and hit the subscribe button and hit the bell so you get future notifications whenever I post. I do Royale High speed edits, GFX speed edits, tutorials, Roblox videos, giveaways, and all of those things, so you just want to make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss any of it. But anyways, guys, that is all I have for you today. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!